People deluded, as you can tell, the best YouTuber at this. Now, I believe the fans will never be told the truth, and I'm not blaming anyone, I'm not blaming the players, the player, Mesut Özil, I'm not blaming Unai Emery, the manager, I'm not blaming the club. And Unai Emery, for what it's worth, has been very transparent when the opportunity presents itself, and it's refreshing for the fans. But for me personally, I feel the fans are owed some honesty over Mesut Özil. I know, how honest can you really be? We hear many different reasons: back injury, tactical reasons, personal issues, all sorts of things. Whether it's Mesut Özil faking injuries and all of these things, or Unai Emery just not giving the man a chance. Apologies for scratching my nose, people, man. It's so itchy. We'll never know. But for me as a fan, I believe that we owe it. We owe it to ourselves. They owe it to us to let us know what's going on, to be honest with you, because again, I can't speak for everyone. I know Arsenal fans speak in extremes. You either love it, Mesut Ozil, or you hate him, and several other players. But for me personally, I believe this squad that we have, whether you believe they're poor or not, we have to utilise every member in some capacity from now to the end of the season if we want to progress in the Europa League, if we want to progress in the top four, specific to getting top four, specific to Mesut Ozil. I'm not saying he has to start every week. We managed to get over Cardiff and beat Huddersfield without him, but by the same stretch of the imagination, there's been games, and even in them two games, apologies, people, my nose, man. Them two games where we could have used him. Now, let me use another player. I don't necessarily rate Mustafi anymore. He's lost my patience, as he has done with the majority of you guys. But for me, I believe at least until we can bring in new players, we have to utilise the squad. We have to. There's so many games to play, so many different climates, environments, tactical reasons that could go for us and against us according to the personnel. We have to use that. We have to use our squad to the best of its ability, specific to Mesut Ozil as well. If we're gonna, you're seeing the new reports. Apologies for scratching my nose, people. At this point, I can't help it, but you're seeing a lot of rumours. The latest one is being that we're kind of freezing him out, where we're not playing him to the point where, or giving him any glamour of hope to the point where he has no option but to leave in the summer. For me, that would be, pardon my language, retarded, because again, I get it. If they want to force the man out of the club and force him to make a decision and get out the coziness, that's cool. But for me, regardless of if you're going to sell him or not, I believe you have to utilise him in the squad. There's no excuse for him not to be involved in the matchday squad sometimes. Utilise the man. It's in our best interest. If we want to let him go, cool. But we're in a difficult position. Mesut Ozil divides opinion. If we keep it 100, his form hasn't been certified for a sustained period of time. So with that being said, who is going to take him? We know we're going to take a hit on Mesut Ozil. You could probably hope for 15 to 20 million. And I'm saying 20 lightly. For me, 10 to 15 due to his wages. If anything, surely it would be better giving him more minutes than he already is, trying to get him into form so that clubs can, if any prospective clubs are out there, they say, all right, cool, Ozil might have the wages, but we can work with Arsenal. Surely it's within our best interest to keep playing him. It's like Alexis Sanchez. We should have sold him in the summer. We shouldn't have got into the special predicament we got in with, left him going for free in January in exchange with Mkhitaryan, but we knew he was going to leave in January. It wouldn't have made sense to not play him, whether he was there or not. It wouldn't have made sense to keep him on the bench and cut off our nose to spite our face. If it was Madrid, ironic because I'm touching my notes, but if we was Madrid or these clubs where they can alienate star players and move on, then cool. Again, I'm not saying Mesut Ozil has to be in every team. I'm not saying he should, but surely we have to utilise him like you would with every member of the squad. And for me as well, on Mesut Ozil's hand, it's similar to a couple of these squad players. It must, regardless of if you rate him or not, it must be demoralising as a professional footballer. Training every day, preparing, and knowing you have next to no chance to not only feature at this point in the first team, but possibly make the bench. You're hearing your manager say tactical reasons. Again, there's clearly something's happened between these two that we'll never know. But I believe, honestly, regardless of if you are on Ozil's side, Emery's side, not that there's any side to take, I'm on the side of the fans. We should be told what's going on in this regard, in regards, because we know he should be going, but he's on big money. He's our highest earner. Not that I care about his money, but with that being said, why is he never here? And surely it's annoying having to constantly, for the club, having to constantly answer questions with Mesut Ozil and things like that. He's missed a lot of football. He's missed around 14 games or so. He's played 14 games or something like that. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I ain't got the stats to hand. But we all know he's missed a lot of football this season. Surely, if we're going to let him go, it makes sense to have him in the squad. And like with every other player, utilise him. Mesut Ozil, I like Mesut, but clearly hasn't got a future here. So he's gone. I liked Mustafi. He's lost my faith. El Nene, I don't think he can take the club forward. Cola's my guy, but he wouldn't be first choice for me necessarily if I was the manager and if I could bring in another left back, because he's superb attackingly, defensively lets us down. these 4 or 5 players I've just named, do I necessarily... It doesn't matter my opinion on them. I believe we should utilise every member of that squad until the end of the season, because realistically, we've got a tough bunch of fixtures. We barely got over these past 5 fixtures. Yes, it's filled with us beating Chelsea and things like that, but when have we looked convincing? We've beat Chelsea, we've beat... Chelsea was convincing, to be fair. Apologies, people. But when you look at the Cardiff result, when you look at Huddersfield, when you look at who else is there? There's been several others. You look at United in the FA Cup. There's obviously City. These last 5 games have been a bit iffy. There's not really an 11 you can settle on. So surely we've got to utilise these players. We've barely got over the last 5 fixtures. The next 5, specific to the Premier League people, is peak. Southampton, we should be beating Southampton at home, but them games there are bookie. Not West Brom, sorry. Bournemouth, we should be winning them games, but again, Bournemouth are funny when it comes to us. Spurs and United, both 6 points on the line. You could arguably say that's a 12-pointer because of, for anything from 3rd to 6th, we're still all fighting to solidify top 4. I think Spurs are going to get 3rd, but you get the point. Wolves away is not going to be hard. I mean, not easy. So these next 5 games, it's going to call for different personnel, different options. We have a duty to utilise our squad, our full amount of our squad. And if you look at it, I know people weren't saying this before, but if you look at the top 6, we arguably have the weakest squad. So surely we should be utilising more of our players. That's just what I believe anyways, people. Like, I just believe, regardless of if... And again, I keep saying Mesut, and I've used Mustafi, but regardless of your opinions on any of these players, even Jenkinson for me, you don't know, if we're being honest, beyond some fans being sentimental and these things, Jenkinson should not be at this football club. He shouldn't be here longer than he has been. But due to the current conditions, I would utilise him. He didn't... Maitland-Niles, I didn't know for his fitness, he would have started for me against... Huddersfield, but I was calling for Jenkinson to start that. I said Jenkinson should have started against City because of what he could give us better than Lichtsteiner. Do I necessarily rate Jenkinson? No, but you have a duty to utilise your full squad. Clearly something personal's happened, but for me as a fan, I just believe in utilising the whole squad because there's a lot of football to be played, people. There's a lot of football to be played between now and the end of the season. It's been a tough season on our players in terms of injuries. We've still got the Europa League campaign. It's only the last 32. That's technically an extra round in the Champions League, and there might even come a point which happened with Jose and Wenger to a degree where you have to concede. Do we go for the league or do we go for Europa? To which you're going to have to, your squad will be stretched and you have to utilise every member. That's all I wanted to say, people, man. Everybody's free to have their opinions and that's mine. But for now, people, deluded. Comment, subscribe and do the rest. I'm out.